Ja, det är mycket bladmassa. Men det märks på huggaren också. Det går tungt.
Ja. Precis.
Var är vi då?
Ja, men var är vi? Ja, vi är på vad vi skulle säga här i den trakten på Freddy östra.
Ja.
Alltså då är det ju öster om Freddy eller östra delen av Freddy. Och nu är det valltema idag. Barenbrug är på besök här hos familjen Eek.
Familjen Eek på Skogshill.
Och det är dags för skörd alldeles strax. Ja.
Precis, ja. Vi håller på att förbereda hemma.
Och skördetajmingen är ju, för ni bedriver ju mjölkproduktion här i stor omfattning. Och då är det en sån här vitalvit som vi står i här nu. Alltså en NutriFibre-vall med blandningen som heter då vitalvit. Just det, och denna etablerades i renbestånd 2024. Ja. Och här är inte använt alltså några bekämpningsmedel, inga ogräsmedel eller något så här.
Nej, inte så.
Utan det är etablerat renbestånd och sen har ni... Vi fick ju lite ogräsuppslag då såklart i början.
Ja, men det är känt. Här är högt ogrästryck. Men gräset kom ju med ändå som tur var. Det var inte en torr då, den våren. Sen så putsade vi av det i samband med förstaskörden när det ändå bara var så mycket på. Så det var inte mycket på, men man dödade ogräset och sen så tog vallväxterna och gräset tog över. Ja. Framförallt vitklövern täckte ju.
Ja, precis. Den gjorde sin uppgift upp på något vis och går på bredden. Och
precis.
Nej, och det är ju en jätteeffektiv ogräsbekämpning egentligen där med att putsa ner det tidigt. Ja. Det tål inte ogräs.
Framförallt så du inte hinner sätta frö.
Ja, precis. Ja, exakt. Jag tänkte på jorden och så. Det är rätt så lätt jord här. Inte sandjord på något vis, men det är ändå så här behaglig jord. Lätthanterlig som du sa här innan. Det är hyfsat lätt att lyckas med sådana etableringar, men det är bra. Och ja. Jag tänkte vi skulle trava runt här lite. Den börjar ge sitt klassiska intryck nu ju. Alltså sådana här NutriFibre-vallarna närmar sig skörd. Just det här att
det börjar lägga sig.
Den börjar lägga sig så här ju. Och det är rätt så fint. Och den lägger sig inte hårdare än att man rätt så lätt slår den. Ja. Även om man ska hålla en stubbhöjd som är en 7-8 centimeter i varje fall. Precis. Men här är ju orört då. Bakom oss där vi stod. Så den är ju inte så där himla hög. Nej. Men tittar man sen i strängarna efter man har slätt så kommer här blir väldigt mycket gräs av det.
Absolut.
Det är väldigt tjockt. Och väldigt lite strå får man ju säga också.
Ja, det är mycket bladmassa. Men det märks på huggaren också. Det går tungt.
Ja. Precis. Jo. Och den kommer ju vara pigg sen igen tror jag. Hoppas vi får mer regn också så kommer den vara pigg i återväxten också. Ja,
den har inte hunnit bruna till sig där nere. Så det är mycket grönt kvar som sätter igång fort igen.
Och så stubbhöjden då, som sagt de där hade en 8 centimeter eller så tänder den ju jäkligt snabbt. Har ju 10 centimeter här. Så det var precis. Om man inte ska snacka centimeter så kan man också säga där tvärhand hög.
Ja, det brukar vara.
Och det är väl ungefär detsamma.
4 fingrar höjd.
Ja, precis. Men vi kan väl göra så kan vi väl jag undrar, vi har Florine här bakom kameran.
Amen.
Och så bjuder vi in henne. Det blir lite på engelska.
Spännande med tips och tricks.
Ja, precis.
Let's
roll. Yeah, so here we see also according to the right harvesting time, you see that this is tall fescue, so he's making his last leaf, and then the flower stem is coming, so it comes from the whole down here until on top, and when it's still in the plant, you still keep your highest nutritional value. When it comes out, you get more fiber. So the NDF, for example, that's more fiber. So if you want to keep by harvesting the highest feed quality, you should harvest when these flower stem is still in the plant.
Still inside the plant, yeah.
So you see that is in this field there is you see already some of the tall fescue. So this is a tall fescue. You see that. So it's also coming the flowering stem. Also you have perennial ryegrass in the grass. And then you also can do, so first one is like if you want to keep the highest nutritional value to see if this flower stem is still in the plant. And the second is to measure your yield. So you can keep like this this meter in the field, and then see how high the grass is. So this is the more the perennial ryegrass. It's like on 40 until 45 centimeters. So you should minus your mowing height. So I don't know, what is your mowing height?
7 to 8 centimeters.
7 to 8. So then you are like, I would say it's no 45, like 3.5 tons of dry matter, because we say plus or minus, and that's quite correct, that 1 centimeter is plus or minus 100 kilograms of dry matter. So if you harvest like 35 centimeters, it's like 3,500 kilograms of dry matter that you plus or minus harvest.
Okay.
So also we see white clover. How do you, how can you can you do the determination of white clover? Do you know, without seeing the flower?
No.
Between red and white, so you have to look on the downside of the leaf. When you have white clover, you see no hairs on the downside. If you have red clover, there are hairs on the downside of the leaf. So that's the difference. You don't need to wait until you see the flower, but you can already see it before flowering. So what do we see in the field? I really like that it's really dense. So you see that it's directly as a grassland field. Also you see now that the grass is mostly taking over, but that's also normal because your soil temperature isn't there yet. So in summer you see more that the clovers will take over. So this is perfect for a first cut.
That's quite what we experienced as well.
Yeah.
In the first cut it's loads of grass, and later in the season it's almost, I wouldn't say, but almost 80% clover in the whole field.
So maybe also you see that more in drier years. Dry years that you can see more clover. That's also true.
Absolutely.
Because we also have a mixture of tall fescue and perennial ryegrass. So normally, like I will take this one. This is tall fescue. Tall fescue in the first year isn't that productive. Why? Because he makes a lot of root system. So his root system is his number one. So he invests a lot of energy in his root system, why his yield is in the first year lower. In second year, his root system is ready, and then he can easier grow. And that's also more drought tolerant, how can I say, variety. Instead of perennial ryegrass, who is a high quality, but also makes a quick, dense sod. For example, tall fescue, he will just stay on one spot. But perennial ryegrass, he can till out, so he can make tillers and make the sod more dense. Also, white clover can make the sod more dense. So that's the reason why we make different mixtures, because we want to mix the different advantages and qualities from the different varieties. Maybe also your fertilization. I don't know how you do the fertilization.
This year we're always quite early in the beginning of March with the liquid or the slurry. So here I think we finished with the slurry the second week of March on all grassland, and then we at a later date, if it's the end of March, beginning of April, we put 330 kgs of NS 27.4. Then we rolled it as well, because to keep the stones down for the mowers.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if that's a goal or not, how the high protein, or as much high protein as you can.
Yeah, of course. It's as high as possible, I assume.
Of course, especially the first cut.
Yeah.
It's the more protein you have, the less you have to buy in. Yeah. In soya.
Okay. And for the next cut, do you change your fertilization plan then?
Well, we don't have the amount of slurry to put the same amount on every time, but we still put on a bit of fertilizer.
Yeah. Okay. So, but also because your clover will kindly take over in summer. So you need to give less nitrogen to your fields.
Oh.
Yeah. But keep attention on the potassium as well, because if you don't give slurry and you just give NS, you also take or extract with the grass the potassium. And if you don't feed it back, you can also, how can I say, also for winter hardiness and for just your growth of your grass, it's also an important one.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. We call it Vollsjö-gropen. You don't understand what I mean.
No.
We dig the hole in another field,
Yeah.
some kilometers from here, and that was because the farmer there, he has this 6th year of this NutriFibre-vallar. What we realized when we made analysis of every yield there, every harvest, that the potassium was quite high.
Okay.
Even though he was not giving any potassium fertilizer.
Yeah.
So we dig the hole and we realize and we tested the soil on different levels, on different depths, and we realized that there are potassium down in the soil. And when we also check how deep is the roots is very deep, 1.8 meters or so.
Yeah.
Then we realized that, okay, here is a lot of potassium when we have that much soil. I mean, on the area and the 1.8 meter down, there were a lot of potassium. So it's first after 6 years, I think, he will start to bring some potassium to the field.
Okay. Yeah.
So that is interesting. But what do you say about this potassium and fertilizing with potassium?
I think you can have also a lot of potassium in your soil, but that doesn't mean it's always available for the plant. So in that case, it's you have to search if it's available potassium or not. But otherwise, I think it's quite often that they also add slurry, an amount of potassium as well. So, but it's something with clover that you should be aware of, because then you give normally less fertilization, and then you still harvest a lot of grass. You can also do an analysis of, for example, your silages, and you also see how much potassium the silage will take out, and then you can calculate how it is with your soil analysis as well. Yeah.
And the level of potassium in the silage has been not too high, but in the higher level that we wanted to have. So that was a signal that we didn't need to fertilize with any potassium in that case.
Yeah, but that's good if you can have the data, so you know it. But it's just be aware that it could be a problem, and that's a point I want to add. And also you have the advantages of, for example, the tall fescue, that he has a really deep root system. So he goes, like you say, like 1 meter and more. So he can also use the minerals that are deeper in the soil or in deeper layers in the soil. So that's also an advantage of the tall fescue.
We can see some weeds, these yellow flowers. In Swedish, maskrus, and maybe some lume. What do you say about that? Should we like bother about it and handle it with some kind of crop protection, or should we just like fertilize the grass and let the grass take care of it?
Yeah, so that one, or this one, I don't know the English word also, you can just you will cut it out with your cutting regime. But for the other ones, the yellow ones, so you see it in other fields, it can just bring the seeds to different fields. So it's I don't know exactly what kind of herbicides you can use with clover, because grass clover fields is normally, I think, less possibilities of herbicides, but I think it still looks okay. So you have some places where there are some weeds, but if they did not take over and your sod is very dense, then it's okay. Maybe also one point I would adjust. Your mowing height, you said like 7 or
Usually
7.
I put it at this height.
7, 8, or maybe 10 then. But maybe it's also a good explanation because it's very good to have an higher mowing height, because why you still keep some grass leaves over, so they can take sunlight, they can grow faster, so your regrowth will be faster. So that's an interesting point to just do that. Also avoid soil that you can take with you and so on. So yeah, that's good if you keep the
If
mowing
you
height.
keep the grass height a little bit higher, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Then it takes over a lot quicker than the weeds do.
Yeah. So that's a good thing to do.
Very important before the winter.
Yeah.
The last harvest of the year is. I've realized that there was one farmer. He did a very low cut. I mean, maybe 2 centimeters or something.
Oh, he shaved it.
Yeah, and that was not good for the plants. I
Yeah.
can say.
No.
They have to also need the time to just how do you say, after the cut, to just establish a little bit more. We say about 10-15 centimeters is normally best to get into winter, not higher and also not lower, because when it's lower you have more chance on frost damage, and if it's higher you have more chance on snow mold. So that's what we advise.
And it takes, if it's too short, it also takes loads of time before you have a good established first cut for next year.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah.
This grass is very it's building like a roof. It's very, it doesn't bring down any light to the ground. And I think what I've noticed in some other NutriFibre fields in this area is that here are less of this yellow of maskrosor than if we compare with other mixtures. So I think that's an interesting thing.
Yeah, that's also because it also means that your grass is faster than the weeds. So, and that it also has a really dense sod, so that it closes your sod, because otherwise you would see it more, like in other fields you can see more. But here you have really a good dense sod, and that also you see that back in how much weeds are in the field. Yeah.
Another discussion, there are some seed producers in this area also.
Yeah.
And when we are producing NutriFibre seeds, we use only like 6-7 kilograms in seeding rate per hectare.
Yeah.
Compared to here, where we are using maybe 40 or 50.
Yeah.
And farmers in Sweden always, or quite often, ask, why do you need that amount? And I think this is like touching that. When you use this high amount of seeds, you get a very dense and good crop, compared to what I can see in the seed producing farms. They are using crop protection. When they're having only grass, they can use herbicides, and it's necessary to use herbicides in that case. Otherwise, there will be both white, blue, and yellow, all the colors of the flowers.
Yeah.
So that is also a very important topic. About the seeding rate.
So we more like look to what is normal, how much seeds per square meter do you need to have, and maybe that's good to also show you this. So here you see the different seeds. So for example, here in this mixture you have tall fescue, you have perennial ryegrass, tetraploid, and also the white clover. Instead of, so we advise like a sowing rate of 50 kilograms. Instead of in Timothy, if you see, this is a very small seed. If you have like 1 kilogram of Timothy or 1 kilogram of tall fescue, then there will be a big differences between how much plants per square meter will you have. So that's also how we decide the amount of, how we decide the seeding rate, and how we take our mixtures together, or make our mixtures.
Oh, that explains the high seed rate as well.
Yeah.
it's false to look at the high seed rate in kgs. It's better to look at the plants per square meter.
Yeah, that's how we make our mixtures. To calculate how much plants per square meter with the mixture do we achieve. Produce different types of clover, so we have different varieties. So also you see here the differences is red clover has hairs on his underside of the leaf, and white clover has not. You also see that white clover can have a big leaf as well, because sometimes they still think that white clover has just small leaves, but that's not true. We have like cloth sides, we have different types of white clover. So we have small leafed, we have I would say middle leafed, and then large leafed, and then we also have an extra large leafed white clover. But we really want in fields with high protein, that the goal is high protein and a high yield. You really want the big leaves, because that's where the protein is, and that's also where the yield is. So white clover, what will he do? He doesn't have really a deep root system, but he will make stolones, I would say. So he can make a dense sod. While red clover, he has like one long root. So he stays where he is seeded, and that's kind of the difference.
White clover goes like broad. So if you have some grass when you're harvesting and you miss some, and maybe the grass dies, the clover can cover it.
Yeah, that's true.
And keep a crop on that area also.
Yeah.
No, so the weeds don't take a chance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have some tips and tricks you need to consider for maintenance of your grass. For
maintenance, I would say the right mowing height.
The right mowing height.
That's one thing. It's a very important one. Also, take care of when is the right time to get on your field. For example, with slurry or whatever. So we say you need to do a test with your feet. So if you do this in the soil and you still make a hole in your sod, then it's not the time to go on your field. You just better wait, otherwise you can make a lot of damage in your field. So that's one. And also I think for you it's very important to have a good preparation for winter. So that also means make sure that it's not too short or not too long. So between 10-15 centimeters that it goes your field into winter, and also that there is an amount of potassium, because potassium also is better for make sure you don't have damage after winter. So that's the things. I think that is really important. So don't make damage on your field. Have a right harvesting time. Also, don't wait too long. That is all. That not always a really heavy cut, I would say, because otherwise you can also, like now it's already like hanging like this, but that makes also that other grasses that cannot grow again. So don't do too heavy cuts, but also make a good. I would say with a good yield amount cuts, and you have also the best quality then for your cows.
Of course.
You can see in every crop now if it's grain or anything else. I mean, winter wheat, triticale, and so on. It's getting very very fast now in this period of year.
Yeah.
So I think when we were measuring how many centimeters there were left for the flowers in the grass to grow, there is not much. There is not a lot of days before you can see the flowers in this field.
It also depends quite a bit. So you see here, this one is almost ready, because of other varieties can be kind of later. So you have to look in different spots in your field. That's almost kind of the best way to do that. But I will maybe measure then also the soil temperature That's also that gives you an idea when it's like minimum 12 degrees. You know that plants will start growing. So that's something you need. Also, moisture is necessary, and kind of sunlight, warm temperatures are also preferable for a better growth. We'll do it here.
If you let that one calculate the soil temperature, Florine, you were mentioning that there are different varieties.
Yeah.
And this name NutriFibre,
Yeah.
that is like a brand, a collecting name for different varieties.
Yeah.
And
So
in this specific field, I think we have 3 varieties of tall fescue.
yeah. So we have a lot of different genetics, I would say. So each time we try to get a better one and a better one. So there are different characteristics why we choose different seeds, because otherwise you have the one is like the most soft leafed, the other one is like more winter hard or whatever, gives the highest yield. So if you can combine those different specifics of each variety, then you have a better, in total, a better yield or result. Yeah. So that's the reason why we also combine different species. So we always do that because you want to take all the advantages of the different species.
Species and also varieties.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
So now you also see it's like 10.4. It's still not so warm, but that also is because of you see that the grass is already covering a lot of the dense sods. So if you would have more empty spots or whatever, your soil temperature will be higher. But that's just here because it's already covered, that it's warming, it's a slower warming up. But so it also sees that your soil temperature or your soil life will not be already so active. So that's also the reason why it's very important to add that fertilization mostly a lot in spring to start everything and to get that moisture and to use it as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
10.4. We have to check, or you can keep it in the air.
Yeah.
To tell us what's the
what's the temperature right now?
in the air here.
Plus
6,
or
7
minus
degrees.
6-7
plus
degrees
6.
difference. Yeah. But would you measure it now in bare soil or just seeded field, you will see that soil temperature is much higher.
Yeah, I think it would be like the air.
Yeah. Because it's black soil. It warms up easily because here it's covered.
Yeah, and maybe that is also a key when when this type of grass is more tolerant to drought.
Yeah.
That it covers the ground and the ground doesn't get that warm.
Yeah, but
so,
it's
so both the deep roots but also that it is covering the ground.
Yeah, and also we know if it's a drought period, we know that it has a root system that goes very deep, so it can also take that moisture from deeper layers.
Yeah.
We also saw in research that when it's very wet soil, we also see that he can really good survive on that as well. So it's both drought as wet soils that are good things or good part for the tall fescue. Yeah.
All right.
I think we covered the most parts.
Yeah, I hope so.
It's,
But you have also learned something and saw something new.
of course, almost time to go cutting.
Yeah.
Bring it inside and make some milk out of it.
Yeah, that's the most important to get the best results with your grass field, because still forage like grass is so big amount of a ration that you give to your cows, so your quality should be really good, because that's the easy part. You don't want to buy everything to get the best milk yields. Yeah.
It's the foundation.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, totally true. Good.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck. Hopefully the
Good
weather
luck.
will be good also this year, that you have a great
I think
season.
it's like this optimal
Oh,
weather forecast now.
Yeah.
A little bit some rain today, this after lunch, and then
Oh.
sunny weather for 7-10 days.
Yeah.
It'll
So
be
it will be
great.
great.
A little moisture in the ground, so the the regrowth comes again.
Yeah.
Like real quick, so we don't have a dry period that it won't start to grow. But I hope
great.
so.
Yeah, good.
Looks good.
Yeah,
Looks
great.
Will be great.